The possibility of a disaster of unprecedented size makes Yellowstone's supervolcano one of the most dreaded occurrences in recent decades. Do you think we're adequately ready to face such an unforeseen catastrophe? Why did the Yellowstone Official announce an upcoming disaster? What is about to unfold? Let's find out. The University of Utah Seismograph stations manage the Yellowstone Seismic Network. This network monitors tectonic activity in the Yellowstone region and provides immediate updates to the general public on any earthquakes that occur in the area. The public could encounter two possible hazards in Yellowstone: an enormous earthquake and a volcanic eruption. Yellowstone poses a dual threat to the public, with the risk of both a significant earthquake and volcanic activity. Yellowstone National Park officials have recently reported over 1,000 earthquakes occurring in the area within a month. Could this seismic activity be a sign of an imminent major disaster? Is the official reading the situation correctly? For that, we need to go through a bit of geography. Yellowstone National Park was established on March 1, 1872, and it is the first national park in the United States, with a rich history as well as a vast range of natural beauty. The park is mostly in Wyoming's northern section, which also includes parts of Montana and Idaho, and contains the world's biggest concentration of hydrothermal features and a landscape formed by millions of years of volcanic and seismic activity. Approximately 2.1 million years ago, an underground magma dome in the region erupted, unleashing one of the world's most catastrophic volcanic events. The resultant explosion released around 600 cubic miles of rock and ash, a volume over 6,000 times that of Mount St. Helens' 1980 eruption. According to observations made at the start of the 21st century, this single eruption was really made up of two eruptions that happened around 6,000 years apart, one that was quite huge and the other that was much smaller. Between 1,300,000 and 640,000 years ago, significant volcanic eruptions occurred, with the latest one releasing approximately 40% of the material expelled during the first eruption. Each of these eruptions left behind a massive caldera, which was brought about by the collapse of a magma dome that had been accumulating. The third eruption created the modern-day Yellowstone caldera, which is a roughly oval-shaped basin measuring 30 by 45 miles and occupying the western third of the national park. It also contains the northern two-thirds of Yellowstone Lake. It is approximately 30 miles long and 45 miles broad. Two resurrected magma domes have been built within the caldera, one to the north of Yellowstone Lake and the other to the west of the lake. Many of the park's most well-known hydrothermal features are located beneath the western dome. Seismic activity is currently high in the Yellowstone region, which may be extremely frightening. This is because the area is home to a complex system of faults that are connected to the region's volcanic history. As a result, the region is shaken by hundreds of minor earthquakes each year, most of which have magnitudes of 2.0 or less and are usually not felt by residents. However, every now and then a stronger earthquake will occur, which can have a significant impact on the park. To put into perspective, seismometers during the Turkey earthquake revealed that this cataclysmic occurrence registered an astounding 7.8 out of 10 on the moment magnitude scale. As the tremors reverberated globally, seismic waves were detected by sensors in far-flung locations, including the United Kingdom, sending ripples throughout Europe. Undeniably, it was a colossal quake. The devastating repercussions of the energy radiating from the earthquake's epicenter have been catastrophic for the nearby inhabitants. Numerous structures have crumbled, resulting in a tragic loss of life, with an estimated 2,000 fatalities across the affected nations. Additionally, damage to gas pipelines has led to the outbreak of fires, further exacerbating the already dire situation. Unluckily for Turkey, some of its regions tends to experience quite a few earthquakes. That's because it's located right at the meeting point of three massive tectonic plates that form the Earth's crust: the Anatolian, Arabian, and African plates. As the Arabian plate moves northward into Europe, it's causing the Anatolian plate to shift westward. So that's why the area is no stranger to some ground-shaking events. Coming back to the volcano, it's worth noting that a catastrophic earthquake struck southern Montana in 1959, just outside the park's northern border, having far-reaching consequences on the park's hydrothermal characteristics. The park's most renowned geyser, Old Faithful, was one of the features that was damaged by the earthquake. This volcano's activity has been closely and continuously examined since 1923. However, in recent years, magma activity has caused the ground to swell and rise by up to 25 centimeters. The growth began to level out, indicating that the lava was progressively cooling and solidifying. Researchers who have been monitoring the behavior of this sleeping monster regarded this as an early warning sign that the beast would soon awaken from its slumber. According to a new U.S. Geological Survey report, Yellowstone National Park witnessed a level of seismic activity in July that has not been observed since June 2017. According to park authorities, the month was fairly busy seismically. The Seismograph stations at the University of Utah detected a total of 1,008 tremors. However, none of them were of notable significance. The most intense earthquake had a magnitude of 3.6 and occurred 17.7 kilometers below Yellowstone Lake. The USGS provided an initial earthquake count, which is likely to increase since more minor earthquakes occurred on July 16th and need further investigation. It is the largest number of earthquakes recorded in a month since June 2017, when over 1,100 earthquakes were detected. The recent increase in earthquakes in the Yellowstone area is causing concern among experts, although the region experiences 700 to 3,000 earthquakes per year, including unnoticed minor tremors, according to the National Park Service. Advanced earthquake detection and monitoring equipment can be utilized by scientists to measure the level of activity in the magma pool beneath the surface. Yellowstone National Park houses a subsurface magma lake located barely beneath the ground and close to the surface, which is referred to as the magma chamber. Tremors, whether noticeable or not, can indicate how quickly the magma chamber is filling up. The frequency and intensity of earthquakes across the park may imply that a fresh batch of magma is being injected into the magma chamber. It is challenging to determine what these earthquakes could signify for Yellowstone National Park. As per agency data, the Yellowstone caldera system erupts every 730,000 years, with the last eruption happening 640,000 years ago. The most recent eruption created a 56-kilometer wide by 80-kilometer long Yellowstone caldera. The release's pyroclastic flows created thick volcanic deposits called the Lava Creek Tuff, forming the caldera's north wall. It is unclear what the future holds for Yellowstone. A massive amount of ash was blasted into the air as a result of a volcanic eruption, and it can still be seen in places like Iowa, Louisiana, and California. The United States Geological Survey cautions that another catastrophic Yellowstone eruption would have worldwide ramifications. A substantial area of the country would be buried in thick ash, and volcanic gases would be discharged into the atmosphere in significant quantities. This event would have a substantial impact on the global climate, and would have a long-term impact on human activities, particularly agricultural productivity. Despite analyzing the disastrous impacts of Yellowstone's previous eruptions, we cannot forecast exactly what will happen next, since the previous eruptions occurred too long ago, and the data may not be valid. The powers that be at Yellowstone National Park have issued a warning that the massive uplift in the area is showing no signs of slowing down. This undeniable evidence points to an increase in volcanic activity simmering beneath the surface, creating a worrisome situation. The situation has become so dire that park officials have been compelled to shut down the park to everyone except a select few researchers. The decision to take this extreme measure is due to the potential threat of an imminent volcanic eruption, which hasn't been seen in over 500,000 years. The partial lockdown is being enforced to protect visitors and locals alike, as an eruption would be catastrophic. In the event of a full-blown volcanic eruption, authorities would need to take far more drastic measures to safeguard human life. What steps might the park authorities and federal government take to ensure public safety in the event of a volcanic eruption at Yellowstone National Park? In the event of a catastrophic volcanic eruption such as the one that occurred 600,000 years ago, evacuation of entire cities is required to protect the safety of both human lives and property. While such a large-scale evacuation has never been attempted before, residents of not only neighboring towns but even states may be forced to relocate a significant distance away from the affected area. Despite best efforts, however, success cannot be guaranteed in the event of a big volcanic eruption at Yellowstone, which might be so lethal that few, if any, states in the United States would be spared. Remember to subscribe to our channel to stay informed about what's going on around the globe. The possibility of such a catastrophic event is further heightened by the recent increase in earthquakes in the Yellowstone region. Click on the popping up videos for further intriguing updates.